What is going on, everybody? I hope you guys all had a good holidays, a very Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year coming up, depending on whenever you're watching this. Today we're going to have a look at the IniBuilds A300. Yesterday was the first full day it was out, I believe. So I'm already late to the party, but we're going to jump in with just a very basic kind of tutorial on how to fly this thing, get it from point A to point B. Today we're going to be doing FedEx ops in particular. We are going to be going from Memphis up to Indianapolis today as FedEx 574 is going to be our flight number today. So pretty quick flight, looking like about an hour of airtime, 59 minutes in the air. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump inside the cockpit and get started. And this is going to be a very, very, very basic beginner setup to the A300, because I'm a very, very basic beginner to the A300 and I don't really know that much more than what I can present to you today. So with that being said, first thing I usually like to do is to get the flight plan in here. So make sure that looks good. Memphis to Indy, departure time 16Z. That doesn't really matter for us. We're not on the network or anything like that. The weather here in Memphis looks very, very nice. Wind 240 at 6, pretty light, 10 miles viz, few clouds up at 25,000 feet, so we're not going to have to deal with anything there. Weather going into Indy, on the other hand, overcast at 1300, temperature 2, dew point 1, 2994 on the altimeter. So the Carson 7 hums direct, the PXV VOR, Ember, and the Smook 2 arrival. So basically from this, all that we're going to take is the altimeter in Memphis right now is 3013. So we're going to go ahead and stick that in here. And it's off, so it's not really going to do a ton. But with that being said, we can go upstairs. The battery switches on this thing are right in here. This is kind of your your electrical power panel. So your battery switch is going to be right here. We're going to get all three of those on. You're going to hear the airplane kind of come to life. Some fans start spinning and whatnot. Next thing I like to do is go up, get the IRSs aligned to nav mode. 1, 2, and 3. They're a little bit spaced out. Cockpit door can stay unlocked. General flow here coming down the left side. Hydraulic pumps can keep doing what they're doing. Passenger signs come on. No smoking signs. Go to auto. We're a freighter, but you know, maybe we're carrying some jump seaters or whatnot. So that's why freighters still have. We can show you the seats up at cruise, the seats in the back that the jump seaters can actually sit in. Well, there wouldn't be jump seaters back there, but just the passengers can ride in. Moving down, we just turn our batteries on. We have external power available, so we can go ahead and switch that to on, and we get some more things happening inside the cockpit here as well. So then galley power, we can go ahead and give them some power back there. Pitch trim is not going to come on until the IRSs are aligned. It turns off automatically. I didn't do that. It does that automatically. You try to do it, but yaw dampers can come on, and I believe these are auto throttle or something like that. ATS switches can come on, whatever those are. They can come on right now as well. Anti-ice, no reason for that here. Strobes to auto, navs to auto. Beacon can stay off for now. Back up to this middle panel here. Gears down and locked and everything. VHF frequencies, which we don't need today, are good up there. Fuel pumps can stay off for now. This is our current fuel quantity. I don't think we're going to need that much. I'm not sure. We'll see. APU stuff down here. Next panel. Cockpit door, like I said, can stay unlocked. Vents are good where they're at. Smoke detectors are good where they're at. Probe heats are going to stay off for now until we get the engine rolling. And finally, oxygen, pressurization, temperatures, APU bleeds, and stuff like that. Emergency exit lights can come on. That's the only thing we need to do on that side of things. Okay, so the overhead panel is set up for now. So before I get into anything in the FMC, I usually like to try to at least get the airplane configured for loading and start loading it. So we can go ahead and put the chocks in. You know, we're just hanging out here. Get some air stairs coming up. Right stairs don't need to be here. GPU, sure. Luggage, fuel. We can get the fuel truck up here. We'll open up the door, the main cargo door as well, if I can. There we go. And we'll go with the forward cargo and the bulk cargo as well. And we'll see. Nah, no GSX. We'll just do that so I can kind of show you guys that process. And then we'll go in the weight and balance now. what are we going to carry? That's a cool thing about this, is you can kind of make it whatever you want. You can, let's see, we're going up to Indianapolis, so let's do a racing team charter. So our operational flight plan says that we are going to have, well, let's see what it says here. We'll update from SimBrief. 235 passengers. That is not correct. All right. I believe I fixed this. So we're going to re-import this from SimBrief. It should still pretty much look the same. So that might be why it's not really changing. Let's take a look at weight and balance now. Update from SimBrief. There we go. So 22 people apparently we're still going to be carrying, but that's fine. Cargo 86 I have. It's got 90. That's just the general payload. 90.6, that's fine. And then fuel-wise, we're looking at 30.1 on the burn. That works perfectly fine. And then apply load, and then it should... Yeah, there you go. So 7 minutes on the fuel now. So we can kind of just mess around in the EFB until we get to there. We can do some performance. Oh yeah, so some other really cool thing. I mean, this tablet is really where all the really cool stuff can happen. So over here, you can adjust all your sounds and everything like that. And then you can also, let me turn myself down just a touch. You can also, let me turn down the system sounds a little bit. It's just a little. Okay, that was just a little bit loud, I think. But, so you can adjust your sounds here. They have a very dynamic sound system. You can kind of change whatever type of sounds you want. They're very quiet to begin with, so turning them up is something I would recommend as well. Maintenance mode, you can really get pretty crazy with this stuff. I mean, it wears down your tires and your brakes and the oil quantity and stuff like that. With every single flight that you do. So it's really pretty cool the way that they design this thing, and it's a little overwhelming, to be honest. Like I kind of have it off because I just don't really even know what to do with it. So but I do have this on. The wear and tear on the relevant maintenance options will be a longer period of time. Refueling's in real time, sure, that's fine. Maintenance happens sooner, sure, whatever. So anyways, just a lot of really cool stuff in here, and you guys can really make it whatever you want it to be. So yeah, anyways, we got 5 minutes left on the fueling. Now we can go ahead and start down on the FMC. So it's telling us to align our IRSs, which we'll do in a second. Where is the... Okay, see, so something you can do to get your route in from SimBrief is you can go to Menu, ACARS, SimBrief, and then it'll send you your route. So Memphis to Indianapolis as FedEx. Where is it at? We don't have a call sign. Anyways, Memphis to Indianapolis. Detroit's our alternate. We can go ahead and hit align IRS. Not like the normal Airbus MCDU where it takes you to the next screen. You have to confirm align on ref, all that stuff. So you just hit it and forget it. Clear that message. And we'll go ahead with a cost index of 43, SimBrief generated for us. Okay, and our flight ID is going to be FedEx, Delta X-ray, and 574. I said 574. So we'll go ahead and put that in there. And a cruising altitude of 330, that checks out. Okay, so then we'll hit next page and go to the init page. Currently, we are still being fueled, but we are going to have somewhere in the ballpark of 30.1. That's what it's putting on. APU is going to eat up some of that, but we'll just put a nice round 1.0 for the taxi fuel. 30.1 on the block fuel. The zero fuel weight is going to be changing until... Oh, there we go. The zero fuel weight is going to be changing for the next 5 minutes, I think, unless it's already... No, 287.81, is that what I have? I have 271. We'll just go with, we'll go with 287. That's fine. 287 point, what was it? 287.8 we'll go with. That's fine. That's a little bit heavy. Gross weight 316.9. And then... Zero fuel weight CG, that is going to be changing until... No, it's not. I'm an idiot. All right, 29.96 says we'll do 29.9, maybe even just do 30.0 for that. Okay. So our alternate fuel, we have alternate. We have 8.7 on the alternate fuel. No, we don't. We have 7.9. Okay, it's not gonna let me change it. So the final with 4.7, it looks like we're gonna have. It's pretty close to 4.9, but we'll see if it'll change that for us. No. All right. Anyways, so take a look at our cruising levels as well. Max cruise level 356. Our selected cruise is 330. Optimum's 329. So essentially 330. So we're in the right place with that. So that's the Init B page. Fuel on board, obviously you can see that is increasing. And other than that, let's take a look at what else we need to do. We don't need to do that. We need to go to the flight plan. So we're going to take a look at the flight plan page next. All right, so taking a look at the FMC, we have. We'll go to. Let's go back and just take a look. So we'll clear those status messages. You know, very similar. If you guys have used Airbus before, this FMC is a very similar layout to the Airbus FMC. So you essentially, to get your SIDs and departures, there's no there's no depart arrival button on the FMC like there would be in the Boeings. So for the Airbus, you just select Memphis and then the SID. So the SID, I don't believe Navigraph. Oh no, it did give us one. Okay, so it's telling us to take 36 left on the Carson 7, but I think we should take. We're going to take 36 center. So we're going to take 36 center on the Carson 7, which is going to be next. There it is, Carson 7. And I believe Hums is the correct transition. It is. So we're going to take that. And that basically all just comes from this right here. It looks like we're finished loading as well. Let's see what the current fuel we have on board is. Well, I guess we can. You can check that up there if you want to do some math. But if you don't want to do some math, you can just go. Where's like the best way? You can just go here. We're gonna do this. We're gonna go. Do I have a button for this? 5, 6, 7. 1, 2. Okay, I do have 2. Okay. The best way to see the current fuel on board, you go down here, select your fuel page, and then you just take a look at it, and you can see that we have 30.0 fuel on board, and that's perfectly fine. Then you can go ahead and deselect that. So, anyway, we're going to go back to the flight plan page. We're going to take a look at where I got that from. So we're going to go my flight, and you can see on the flight plan here, Carson Hum 7, that's the transition, and then direct to the PXV VOR, which I should probably figure out which one that is. But anyway, Navigraph will bring up the charts. So we're going to take 36 center. So it's going to be a little bit of a longer taxi. We're here. We're going to have to go all the way down to runway 36 center there. And then we'll take a look at the Carson 7 departure. The Carson 7. All right. So the Carson 7 says top altitude's 5,000. So we're going to go ahead and put that in the... Oh, wait. Nope. Just kidding. Okay. So now that the IRSs are aligned, that's a good little learning point. The IRSs are all aligned. The MCP is not going to come up. It's not going to show that there's anything going on in here until we turn on the pitch trim switches. So those ones right there. And then now we have numbers here. So altitude select, we're going to go up to 5,000 initially. We will have to set our V2 speed. We'll get there in a moment. The heading, climb on heading of 360, intercepted course is 012, then direct to Slan, and then depicted route to Carson. So we're going to go ahead on a 360 heading out of here. So 0 or 359, but 0 works just fine. That can turn off, I believe. So, and then the 5,000, yeah. Okay, so with that being said, we're going to come back down here, and we're going to scroll down until we get to Indy. Hit that for the arrival, and our star was, again, you know, we can take a look at it here. My flight. So we had the Ember, the Smook 2 on the Ember transition. So, all right. So we're going to scroll down till we find Indianapolis. star, you got to select the runway first. So we're going to select ILS 23 right from racing. That'll draw out the whole approach. That's the farthest approach fix. And then it wants us on the Smook 2, which we saw. So there it goes, Smook 2 with the Ember transition. And then we can go ahead and insert that. And then we're going to have all of that down here. There's Ember. There's the whole Smook arrival. That's the showing vectors to race into the final. So this is where the approach actually starts, checkered in on inbound runway 23 right. Okay, that's that. So that's our flight plan. So our flight plan is good to go. While we're messing around, let's go ahead and get the fuel pumps to on. And then, so the fuel pumps do look a little bit kind of wild, but it's just like anything else. I mean, it's the outer pumps, inner tank pumps, center tank pumps, and then trim tank that's just a little bit in the tail. So don't let it be too overwhelming. It's really not that bad. This is our current fuel on board and current fuel quantity. And this is our APU master switch. So we'll go ahead and switch that on, give it a couple seconds, starter switch on, and then as it's spinning up, it'll say, I think it'll say spinning or running or spin or something like that. Let's see. Yeah, Excel, there it is. All right, so it's saying Excel, so that means it's starting up. Let's go outside and listen to these sounds because they are pretty freaking cool. Pretty freaking awesome APU sounds. The sounds on this plane are really, really good. So we'll go ahead and verify that we have our race cars loaded up. Taking them up to Indianapolis. Go ahead and flick on the APU bleed. Our APU then goes to available. So we're going to go over to the tablet and start closing up doors and getting ready to leave. So we're going to go get ground equipment. Chocks, we'll just make sure we have our parking brake set. If it's pulled out, it is set. There it is. All good to go there. So parking brake set, chocks can go away. Stairs can go away. We're on board. GPU can go away. Fueler can go away. And we're going to close all doors. Verify that everybody's all shut. Looks good. Come back down here. We're going to arm them. And then just make sure the door page went away and that there's no, everybody looks green down there. Okay, so the APU's running now. We're basically ready to rock and roll here. There was one other thing I wanted to look at. Is it on the next page? Is the acceleration height and stuff. I wanted to do that. Oh, we still got to do this. Okay, yeah, here we go. All right, so basically all ready to rock and roll here. The only thing left is to go to our takeoff approach page. So this is going to look a little bit different than Airbus or Boeing or anything. It's a little more similar to Airbus, but so we are going to take 36 center. It's dry. It's beautiful out here today. Current weather in Memphis was, what do we say, 240 at 6. So 240 at 6 knots. That'll do that. The outside air temperature is 3 degrees, and the altimeter was 3013. So that is all that there. Our weight, you know, I wish it would give us that, but our weight, let's just check out. So let's go back to the weight and balance and see our takeoff weight's going to be 316.8. So we'll go with 316.8. We'll give it 316, and then it'll be 800 there on the weight. Air conditioning on, anti-ice off, force toga off. We'll go ahead and calculate that. No flex temp. I don't know why it's not giving me a flex temp, but we're gonna draw up our own. Maybe we shouldn't. All right, let's just do force toga on. Okay, so we're just gonna toga take off out of here, so we don't have to worry about the flex temp. But toga, so 155, 155, 163. So you do have to manually set the V2 in here so that it comes up in there. So 163, and then the rest were 155. What am I gonna do? Oh yeah. So for the acceleration height, I like to make it about 1,000 feet above. Was that's what it was doing? 1,500 foot. All right. Well, for the thrust reduction, the acceleration height, we'll do 1,000 feet above airport elevation, which again is 341 in here. So say 340. So let's say it's 350. So we'll just make it 1,350 on the thrust reduction, and the acceleration height, the engine out we can leave. I believe that's at right about 1,500. Yeah, right about 1,500. So go ahead and keep that there. And we are just about ready to rock and roll here. So we'll leave that there. We can leave this up on prog or something like that. That's usually how I like to have it set up. We can go ahead and set up KIND over here, and that'll give us our distance to go. So we don't have that far of a flight today, so that'll be nice. All right, we'll go ahead and cage a standby altimeter. All right, here's your flight director switches, so that can get you the bird. That goes back to the flight directors, and that's off if you want it off. We'll switch that down to ILS whenever we get a little closer to the airport. But other than that, climb a heading 360. 5,000 is our max climb, 163 is our V2, so that's all set up to rock and roll there. We'll go ahead and flick our beacon light on and get going with pushback. Pushback guy's driving up, beacon's on. He's all connected and ready to rock and roll, ready to push us back, so let's go ahead and let him do that. Release our parking brakes and do not hold us. All right, so take a look at the overhead panel here. In order for us to start these engines, we're going to have to turn, this is our engine start switch, it's essentially the ignition switch, which sits right in between the throttles on normal Airbuses. We're going to put it, we're going to put it on the A system. And you can hear the, the bleed switch over and everything like that. We'll take a look down here, confirm that we do have good bleed air, which we do. So we're going to go back up here, start the left engine. You'll see it switch to open. Come down here, and this is kind of like a Boeing, where whenever you have 15% N2, Boeing is 25, on a 7.3 it's 25. Whenever you have 15% N2, you can go ahead and introduce fuel to engine number 1. You see our EGT start rising, our N1 start rising, and that's our fuel usage gauge, and that is going to start rising here as well. Woo, listen to that. I love that sound whenever fuel gets introduced to the engine. It really starts roaring. All right, so that sounds like a good engine start to me. We're gonna set, this is our kind of takeoff calculator, engine indicator type thing going on here. So we're gonna make sure this is set on toga. If we had a flex, we could select flex, take off, and dial it in here. Not too sure why I'm not getting a flex, but we're gonna go ahead and just set that there. Pushback is complete. We're gonna go ahead and set our parking brake and get rid of the pushback, man. And then we're gonna go ahead and start engine number 2. So same thing. We're gonna go starter. Come down here. Look at all kind of things. N2's rising. Pressure's rising. Fuel pressure's rising. I'm sorry. Oil? No. Yeah, it is. It's oil pressure rising. N2. Introduce fuel. EGT rising. N1 rising. Fuel use rising. We're going to go outside so we can try to catch that again. Sounds like we missed it that time, but uh-oh. What do we got? I don't know what happened there. It looks like we're all good, though. I introduced fuel and everything. EGT, looks like she was just running hot there for a second, but I think we're all coming back down. I think we're good. Maybe me switching views around might have had something to do with that. Not sure, but looks like everything's stabilizing, so we should be good to go there. Okay. But we'll go max auto brake. Flaps 15 and 15. So basically what that means down here, the flap lever, we're going to go, these are the slat side, this is the flap side. So if you would just go, the first notch, it would be slats 15, flaps 0. And that's going to come up on here as We're going to turn these sounds down just a little bit, actually, because it is pretty freaking loud in here. Let's take a look at the interior engines. We'll jack those back up for takeoff again. But you're going to see here, it's going to go to slats 15, flaps 0 still. So then coming back down here, we're going to go slats and flaps 15. So moving it down to the second knot doesn't change the slat setting, but it does change the flap setting. And then we can see them moving here on the flaps position indicator screen. We have our auto brake at 0. And then typical Airbus stuff here, arming the speed brake. We're going to switch that starter back to crank, or to continuous, I believe, for the takeoff. APU, we'll turn on our probe heats real quickly here. APU bleed can come off. APU can come off, which is right there. Hang on. APU can come off. So everything on the overhead looks good to me. There's no lights other than the green. You just don't want to have any white lights showing. So if you forgot to turn on a probe heat or whatever, you wouldn't want to see that. Okay. So go ahead and flick on our taxi light, and we will get ready to rock and roll here. We're going to make a... What are we going to make here? Are we... Where's our closest taxi? We'll make a right turn, and then take that little way there. So what is that? That looks like probably, I feel like this is off. That should put us on Yankee. We'll probably go Yankee Alpha Bravo, Sierra all the way down to 36 right. Okay. All right. Here we go. Go ahead and release our parking brake. Nice thing about this plane, it starts rolling. There's no throttle. Our thrust is at idle, and she starts rolling. We love that. Lights. So this is your PFD brightness. Your navigation display brightness is down here. It's the top one. Just kidding. So there's that. These displays. This one's here for the MCP. Got to pay attention to the taxi here. We're going to blow past it. This thing handles so nicely. On the ground, in the air, hand flies like a dream. We're not going to do the whole landing lights, strobe lights on as we cross our runway here. There's nobody on. We'll be fine. We'll keep the transponder on... We'll put it on TARA, but we'll keep it on 2000 for now. And then we got... Let's see. The other lights. The overhead lights are down here. So these are the panel lights down here, and then these are the overhead lights up for upstairs. All right. So here comes our right on Bravo. We're going to take this kind of angled turn. Listen to these sounds. I mean, just the old airframe kind of creaking. This plane is just awesome. This plane is awesome. I cannot stress it enough. The throttles don't really have detents. I learned that the other day on my first landing. You just kind of jack them up. Like they're more like Boeing throttles than anything. Than the Airbus throttles, where whenever you flare, it tells you to retard the levers. You pull them back, it takes it out of auto thrust and pulls them idle. If you pull them back, if you pull your hardware back, it doesn't take them out of auto thrust and it keeps the power in. So I floated forever. So we're going to try disconnecting the auto throttles on the approach this time around. All right, and this should be Sierra all the way home to runway 36 center. So we'll go ahead and catch up with you when I get there. All right, so here we are. We have just arrived at runway 36 center. So we're going to go ahead and take the runway, flick those to take off. Those lights are coming on. Our landing lights are coming on. Wing lights are coming on. Runway turnoffs can come on, and our strobes can stay at auto. They will turn on as we start rolling down the runway there. Everything on the overhead looks good. Keep the speed rolling. We're going to go into here, go to departure, and pull up the Carson 7. Just make sure we're not doing anything crazy stupid. There we go. Climb on. We're going to do heading select on the climb initially, and then we will... Can I do heading select and nav mode? I can. So we're going to go heading select, And then nav mode is going to be armed. And I want to do profile climb, but it's making me go level change for now, so we'll go ahead and do level change for now. 3.6 centers on the ground, looks good to me. We'll bump them up about 40%. Engines are stable. Toga switches over here. Let's toga. A little bit of forward pressure on the stick. We've got to remember our V speeds, so 155 and 155 for V1 and V2. Our engines are really taking a minute to get up to speed here. It's coming though. $80 knots. Thrust is still not set. I don't know what I did wrong here, but we are rolling. Holy smokes. This is a long takeoff roll. Our thrust is finally now set. V1 rotate. Struggled to keep that nose down and on the ground. Here we go. You hear those wheels spinning. Go to go positive rate gears coming up. Above that flap F speeds, we can go ahead and go flaps up a notch. Approaching that flaps S speed, we're going to go ahead and go flaps clean. Let's see if we can go profile mode now. Yep, there's profile climb. Hit our thrust reduction and acceleration altitude, so we're going to go ahead and start pitching over, accelerating for that 250 knots. We have profile thrust, profile climb, and nav mode. So that's perfect. So we should be then direct to, what did it say? I think direct Sloan. We'll go direct Sloan just to make sure that we are doing that. And we're out of Memphis. Go ahead and say they gave us a climb up to our cruising altitude of 330 it was. Not sure why it took us out of our profile climb there. We'll go profile climb nav mode. Yeah, not sure why it took us out of that, but we're back in it. And we'll just hand fly it for just a little bit longer here. Maybe till we make that turn. It's only about 5 miles out, so. This thing hand flies so nicely. It's so responsive. Yeah, I mean, I can't get over the way it hand flies. Turn up these engine sounds a little bit, maybe. All right, passing Sloan. We're direct to Lizzie now, I believe. In the turn, we'll go ahead and engage the autopilot. That's this one right here, Command 1. Let her take over. Climbing beautifully here. Like almost 4,000 feet per minute right now. That's insane. That is insane. Coming up on 10,000, there she is. We'll go ahead and flick our lights off and retracted. Wing lights can come off. Turn-offs can come off, and all those can stay on. And it's a beautiful day here. Coming out of Memphis, Tennessee. We'll go ahead and take the passengers. Let all 22 of our passengers roam around the cabin. down and locked on the gear. That's another thing you definitely do not have to do in the Airbus normally, but you do here. And we're going to just start dropping the nose and start accelerating to 324 knots. That's going to be our climb speed today, coming through 11,000 feet. So I'll shut up for a little while. Actually, we are going to go ahead and put this to off now that we're done with that. No memos, status page is clear, so that's good to go. And like I said, I'm just going to shut up now and let you guys enjoy the climb out. Coming up on 18,000 here, we'll go ahead and set our altimeters to standard. They're not linked for some reason, so we'll go ahead and do this one separately. Can I push it or pull it or anything? Nope, just set it to 2992. And that one is set standard now as well. Okay. Alright, other than that, we have our beautiful climb out en route to, we don't need that 30 degrees of bank anymore, so let's limit that to 15 now. But yeah, good climb out up to 33,000 feet en route to Memphis, or Indy. Alright, so we've reached our top of climb. Here, as you can see, we've leveled off at 33,000 feet. Our altimeters are standard. Everything looks good on the overhead panel. Our fuel used so far is, we've used about 3,500 pounds of fuel from each engine, so almost 7,000 pounds of fuel. Anyway, let's take a look over down at the FMCs. So I'm still working on, it's not letting me go in there. Anyway, still working on this whole top of descent thing. I don't believe it's like listed anywhere. So I'm not exactly sure how to do this, but I just read online somewhere, so it's always true, right? As if I read it online. You're going to set your descent altitude. So initially we're going to try to descend to 10,000. Okay, wait. Okay, so it's not, maybe not be, might not be listed, but we do have a top of descent waypoint. So it looks like we're about, what's our range at right now? 120. So it looks like we're about 120 miles out. So I heard, again online, so it can't be wrong, that you're supposed to be able to just select your altitude and then pull it. And that'll arm profile descent mode so that whenever you hit your top of descent, it'll just start descending. So we'll see if there's any validity behind that. We've still got nav and profile mode selected, so that's good. Last time I tried to descend, it had me, it tried to drop it to like the green dot speed, or, well, that's the green dot speed there, so, but it had me try to drop to like 210 knots in the descent. So I don't know what the deal with that was, but we're going to try to have that not happen this time around. So we'll see. So far, so good, though. In terms of everything else, we'll go ahead in the takeoff approach, and we have our landing configurations here. So we can go 15 or 20 with the flaps, or 30 and 40, and that there's a knob right here that you select whichever one you're actually going to do. So we're going to do 30-40 today. Whoa, my bad. 30-40, wind correction, +5. Yeah, +5 knots. 144 is going to be our approach speed, and our MDA looks like it's going to be 983 is going to be that there, and then we'll arm that whenever we get to the approach. And then localizer frequency is going to be 111.75, 111.75. Final approach course of 230. You got to set this. This is very, 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 very important. It's just like a Boeing. It's just like a 737 whenever you have to manually kind of set your frequency and your course. So do not forget about that. 230 final approach course set. Go. Approach. All right. ILS 23 right. So I'll show you where I got all of that stuff. So this is the localizer course and frequency, which we just set down here. So that's that. 1175 and 230. That's going to be our glide slope intercept, altitude, and waypoint of checkered, and then that's our MDA that we just set. It's not an MDA. I don't know why. I mean, what do I know? I'm not an Airbus pilot, but it's still a decision altitude. So it's not a DA, but the point is that it's not low vis decision altitude, I think, so it's not like 50 feet. But anyway, and then this is just the profile view and everything of the chart. So We can take a look. As we can see, our top of descent's moving closer and closer. We're about 80-ish miles out. We'll go ahead and take a look at the arrival. Where did we say we were on? They're on the Smook 2. There it is. Smook 2. So we can go ahead and make sure that we have all that. We're coming in from Ember, Gamil, between 210 and 150. 210, and if you really wanted to check on it, nope, just kidding. You can't check on it. Yeah, I don't know. All right. Anyways, back to flight plan mode. 210, Gamil, Racer, Smook. We're just trying to keep an eye on both here. Smook, and then am I going to Churs or Fire? I'm going to Fire, so I'm going. Well, that's. Hang on, let's see. Watson. Okay, so we're going up that left side above 11,000. Dubbix above 10,000. Blister above 7, 230 knot speed restriction. Petton 210 and 6,000, and then Zozar, and then we're on to the approach. So that is perfect. That looks good, and our top of descent is armed. We're ready to rock and roll. Oh, profile descent. It looks like we've started. Okay. Got that thing about 80 miles out. Did I do something? Did I bump the... No? Okay. Yeah, I mean, it looks like we're low on the profile, so I'm not sure. We're just going to let it do its thing and see what happens. Worst case scenario, we stop at 10,000 and fly it in. The speed isn't going crazy on me, so that's nice. All right, well, here we go. We're descending down in Indianapolis. All right, so we'll just kind of monitor the descent and cross that road when we come to it. Indy, the weather, IFR overcast 900, so it's just getting worse. And it is not raining. We'll put the auto brake on medium, though. So our descent is going all right. We are getting a little too close for comfort to our little red speed tape there. So we're going to start overspeeding the airframe here very, very quickly. So I am not sure. I don't know what it's doing. But we can go to 15,000 and maybe just do like a level change. What if I set it back to profile? Because we shouldn't be descending right now. But we'll go level change, and we'll go to like, keep it at 320 on the descent, and we'll just go to 15,000 because that's where we should be. So 320 on the descent, nav mode still, level change. And we'll let the vertical deviation catch up. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start. We're starting our level off here at about 13,000 or 17,000 feet. So we'll go ahead and set our local altimeter setting as well. I forgot about that. My bad. Altimeter setting is 2994, so pretty close to standard, anyways. So it seems like those are linked up. But this one is not for whatever reason, so we'll just go 2994. Level off here for now, and then, I mean, again, so if I arm it, if I put it back in profile mode, and arm it, we're dialing way back. So see, again, we're, well, it's coming back to 280. I mean, I guess, what's it coming back to? 290? I mean, I guess technically, that is our speed restriction. But, we're not doing 290. Wait, give me speed. Give me speed mode. Alright, I guess we're doing 290. Well, wait, it's not, here we go. Alright. I should have just done that to begin with. I should have gone to level change, but we're going to bump up the speed here. We're going to go to like 320 for the next, I mean, it's only going to be like 5,000 feet, but, I don't know, we'll keep ripping down here. We're not supposed to be below 15,000, I guess, for this waypoint. I should have kept it there, but, we'll stop at 10. How about that? We'll stop it at 10,000, and, we'll be good for the next couple waypoints there. we will be down nice and early for this, and we'll probably just vector ourselves onto a final approach course. So should level off at 10. Speed out star nav mode, leveling off at 10, holding at 320. We're going to stay at 320 until we have to descend below 10, which we're not going to do until after Dubbock, so we got a minute to stay here and hang out. Oh shoot. Oh gosh dang it. I don't think, I don't know what I was recording there. If I was recording my starting soon page, then we're back after our waypoints here, descending on down to 3,000. Speed brakes are out, 250 knots. Probably going to start putting them away. Try to be at 3,000 by about Zogar so we can make a right turn to intercept Checkered. We're probably going to need, temperature on the ground is only 1 degree, so we're probably going to need anti-ice as we descend into these clouds, so we'll go ahead and get that on here shortly. We got our lights on, our seatbelt signs are on, and we're making our turn to was it Zogar, did I say it was? Zozar. I mean, just listen to the sound of those speed brakes too. That's so cool. That is so cool. That sounds so good. 900 overcast, so we are going to run into that. You know, we're going to break out pretty low to the ground. So this is going to be an exciting approach for us here. Exciting approach. Go ahead and turn on our ILS, and here we go, into the soup. Let's go ahead and get our engine anti-ice and our wing anti-ice on. And we're going to go ahead and go heading select and probably start our right turn to intercept, probably to about 100 heading. That'll probably be a little decent little base. No, more. Do like 130. We'll try 130. All right, here we come up on 3,000. We can go ahead and throw those speed brakes away, and we'll go flaps slats 15. And we'll go ahead and dial it back to about 220 knots. I'm not exactly sure the speeds on the slats and flaps and everything. We can go ahead and get our approach pulled up, the ILS 23 right. It's going to take a minute again. Discontinuity ahead, that's fine, because that's just our vector segment here. Give me about a 150 heading, and then we're going to go ahead and arm the approach mode there. Arm our speed brakes, and we're probably going to start dialing the speed back to about, probably right about our S speed. Localizer capture, we'll go flaps 15. A little faster than you'd like to see in real life, surely, but that's okay. Dial it back to about 180 knots. And we're going 30 and 40, so that's essentially flaps full. Overshot just a little bit, that's partially my fault. And we can drop we'll just intercept the glide slope a little bit high, but we can drop down to about, we'll set 3,000, and the missed approach altitude is also 3,000, so we'll just leave it there. We'll intercept the glide slope, like I said, just a little bit high. And we'll go ahead and arm our final approach mode. And I'll go ahead and give the speeds back. No, it won't. Profile, maybe. Glide slope capture, there it is. So we're gonna go ahead and go flaps 2. I guess flaps 20. And we will go ahead and go gear down. Can I give it back to profile mode? No, it's saying you're too late for that. So let's go ahead and just bug our speed, which was 144. 143 is our approach speed. Doesn't look like we should be able to get all the way down there. So we'll set 143, and we'll go ahead and go flap. I believe this will be full flaps. Yeah, full flaps. Speed brakes are armed. There's our runway. Let's go ahead and disconnect the autopilot and also the auto throttles. Maybe. It was not happy with that at all. Alright. I think we're good. I think we're okay. Alright, so speed's still coming down a little bit here. We're full flaps. Getting a little bit low on the glide. That's okay. You gotta start pitching up for that. Increasing the throttle to catch that airspeed. Increasing that throttle to catch the airspeed still. And then we're just going to keep this descent rate coming. All the way down to the runway. Oh. I mean, this thing just hand flies so nice. Land. A little low, correcting there. And here it comes right back down. Little low, little low, little low. Here we go, 50. 30, 20, 10, 9. Ooh, a little firm there, certainly. Reversers are out, speed brakes are up. Decelling nicely here. Welcome to Indianapolis, everybody. Go ahead and go 80 knots, speed brakes away, 60 knots, man brakes. Well, we probably would have loved to have made that turn there, but that's okay. We'll just go ahead and roll out a little bit longer. And while we're rolling, we'll take the opportunity to flip on our APU master and the start switch, and we'll turn our anti-ices off upstairs as well. We're going to be making this left turn on a Bravo 7, and we'll go ahead and clean up the airplane whenever we are off. We're going to run over that taxi light right there, totally fine. Still definitely figuring out the flaring and all that with this. Definitely got a little floaty there. So, alright, we'll go ahead and clean up the airplane. Flaps up, speed brakes up, lights off. Never flip the nose light on, that's okay. It's my bad. Wing light off, turn-offs can come off, taxi light can come on. All that can stay on, and then the APU is available, so we'll go ahead and flip on the APU bleed as well. And we'll see you guys whenever we pull back into the gate here. Alright guys, here we go, pulling into the stand. Just going to find a place to park. It looks like we should have one pretty much right off our nose once we make this left turn. So we're going to take that. We're going to make this left turn, swing it all the way around, overshot that a little bit. Maybe not actually. Wasn't terrible. I'm going to go ahead and pull right in here. Because we're pulling straight in, we're going to go ahead and turn the taxi light off, not blind our ground crew. And we're going to start killing engine, number 2. As we roll. I'm going to try to get it right on that line. We'll see how I do here. We're kind of flying. Ooh. And we'll stop it there. Going to go ahead, bring this to idle, parking brake set. Let's see. N1 done. Let's go ahead and go kill engine number 1. That's going to come up. And we're going to kill engine number 1. Bus transfers over to the APU. Engines are shutting down. See how the park job is. Not terrible. Not terrible. We're on center. Did not make it to the T. But we're on A line there, so that's okay. And we'll go ahead and with everything down below 10%, we'll go ahead and let the ground crew know they can approach the aircraft, turn the beacon on. And that's going to be it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. I know it's very basic. It wasn't really supposed to be anything too crazy, but I hope you guys enjoyed a little tutorial on how to fly the IniBuilds A300. This thing is a phenomenal airplane, hand flies really well. Still got some bugs and things they need to work out, it seems like, with the whole top of descent thing. Again, I could have been doing something wrong, but that was pretty weird. So, yeah, so hopefully they continue to work on this thing, but it's a freaking phenomenal airplane. So many things we didn't even talk about, so many things that I don't even know about. So always something to learn. Hope you guys enjoyed, though, and hope you have a great rest of your day and a great New Year's. Thanks for watching.